When this customer placed the order, they said they wanted a 21st birthday cake that was pink, glittery, and cute, and I said, I can do that. I started this cake by mixing my darkest shade of pink and then adding that darker shade into different amounts of white icing to make 3 different colors of pink. I prefer mixing my colors like this when I'm doing a monochromatic cake just because it ensures that all of the shades of pink are going to match because they're all using the same base color. Since this customer didn't have a specific design that they wanted, I decided to do a double ruffle up the side just to fill the space since this cake was a little taller. So I marked all those out and then just started going with it. I really didn't have a plan when I started. I just did a basic ruffle and then just kept adding on top of that. I knew I wanted to add some white accents in the piping details because I was planning on adding some white pearls on top later, so I started with those as a base and then just kept adding the pink layers on top of it. After I piped the white details, I went in with the medium pink and added those details and then finished off with my darkest shade of pink. At this point, I was questioning if I made the pink a little too bright, but it was a 21st birthday, so I'm assuming they wanted it to be a fun cake. And I knew I was dousing the whole thing in glitter, and that always ends up lightening it a little bit, so I figured it was okay. At this point, I started adding the pearls at the peaks of my top ruffle, and then I also just placed some various pearls around the top border of the cake to tie in that detail. On the top of the cake, I wanted to replicate the pink and white stacked on top of each other like it was on the side of the cake. So I did the double writing with the darker pink on the bottom and the white on top. And I really think it was a nice detail to finish off the top. And then after I was done with all the details, I doused the entire cake in glitter. And I feel like it's always so hard to get that on camera